Good morning to all of you. Myself, Dr. Vivek Verma, Assistant Professor, Department of Physics, Hindu College. So, the aim of the class of today is rheostat as a variable resistance and potential divider. So, today we are going to learn how to rheostat can connect in an electrical circuit as a variable resistance and as a potential divider. So, first of all, I would like to describe about the rheostat. The rheostat is basically the winding of the wire on ceramic material. Why we are using the ceramic material? Because it should be non-electrical and non-magnetic. So there is a fine winding of the nichrome wire on that cylindrical ceramic portion, and the one end of the wire is connected at this point. One end of the rheostat. That is the one of the screws provided over here. We can make the connection from this end as per requirement, and the another end of the wire is connected at this end of the rheostat, another end of the rheostat, and the screw is provided in this side, and required connection can be made from this end. Okay, and the top of this rheostat or copper wire, okay, from this end to this end, which is not in the contact with the another portion of the, you can say, rheostat. It is insulated from these points. They are not, this copper rod is not in the electrical contact with the other portion of the rheostat. Okay, this is insulated over here. There is a Teflon groups are provided through which this rod is passed. Okay, so this is not in the electrical contact. This is another point. Now, there is a one sliding portion is provided on the top of this, and this sliding portion is in the contact. The sliding block is in the contact with the copper rod, and there is a carbon coated strips. Copper strips are provided here, and they are in the contact with the winding of the wires. Okay, so where you place, like at this portion, this is in the contact with the winding, and this rod and this portion is in the electrical contact. Alright, so this is a construction of the rheostat. This is a very simple. There is a copper nichrome wire is simply winded on a non-electrical, non-magnetic cylindrical portion, and the top of it there is a copper rod, and which is in the contact through the carbon coated copper strips with the nichrome wires, which are winded on this cylindrical portion. Now, so there is a pictorial diagram which I can represent the rheostat. You can see in the mini textbook. It is given like this. There is a copper, the nichrome wire winding on a cylindrical portion like this. The one end of the wire, nichrome wire, let me take this is a A, another end you can take as a B, which I was talking here. So one end of this copper the nichrome wire winding is connected at the one end over here, and another end of the nichrome wire winding is connected at this end. So this point can be taken as A, and this point can be considered as a B. Now, on the top of it, there is a copper rod, and this is connected or in the contact with the winding through the copper strip, and these copper strips are carbon coated for the better contact, better conductivity. Alright, so this rod can be denoted as a C and D, and this contact can be considered as a Q. Now, this is a whole construction of the rheostat. Now I am going to connect this rheostat as a variable resistance. So let me take a circuit, electrical circuit, in which there is a battery of a 5 volts. This battery have to connect with some load. Let me take load like this through some variable resistance. So let me take a variable resistance at this point. Alright. So rheostat, if you want to use the rheostat as a variable resistance, the connection must be, we can replace this variable resistance from here, and let me take this point as N and N. Alright. Now I am going to make the rheostat over here again. This point is A, this point is B, and there is a copper rod, and which is in the contact with the wires, nichrome wires winding. Now the current is flowing in this direction. Let me connect the one end of the rheostat, either A or B. It's up to you, because that is the identical. The both ends are like same. That is one end of the rheostat. This is another end of the rheostat. It doesn't matter. You can consider it as a 1 or A. It can be considered as a 2 or B. If you reverse it, then it is A and B, vice versa. So it is not going to make any kind of changes until or unless you are not going to connect it. First, if you connect one end of the rheostat, either and you can connect at the point M. Let me take point A is connected with the M of the circuit. Now the current will allow to pass in the rheostat, but another end is not connected. So this time I am not going to connect the end B. I am going to connect this rod through the point N. So another end of the rheostat is free, that is not connected with the circuit. But the copper rod, where these 2 points are provided, we can connect at any end of this copper rod, because these both ends are same, at the same potential. Okay, because this is a common rod. So these 2 points C and D are equal. Alright. So if I connect this portion or this end of the copper rod, let me take this end as a D, which is connected with the N end of the circuit. Now the current, what is the path followed by this current? This current will enter in the rheostat through the point A. It will pass through these nichrome wires, but here is a copper strip is connected. From this copper strip, the current will go and pass through the point D and will enter into the circuit at the point N. Alright? So current will allow to pass only this path of the circuit, because the B end is not connected at any point in the circuit. So this portion of the rheostat, because there is a nichrome wire which is winded on the rheostat, okay, there is a uniform distribution of the resistance. Now this portion of the rheostat, this portion of the wire which is winded in the rheostat will work as a resistance. Now how it is going to work as a variable resistance? When you shift or slide, because this top portion of the rheostat can slide on the rheostat. So if you slide this contact towards the end A of the rheostat, then this portion will start to decrease. So less amount of the resistance will appear in the circuit. If you shift or slide this contact towards the D end of the rheostat, this contact towards the D end of the rheostat, then the more resistance will start to come into the circuit. Okay, so this is how, when you want to connect the rheostat, you have to utilize the 2 points of the rheostat. One end of the wire connection which is winded on the rheostat, the second the copper rod. Okay, if you use those 2 ends between 2 points of any circuit in the series, then your rheostat will start to work as a variable resistance. You can see this is very simple to understand. There is no complicated concept. It's a very simple to understand. The current is basically entering at the point A in the rheostat and leaving through the copper rod point D. Alright. So when you slide this slider on the rheostat, the required amount of the resistance can come in the picture, and all the specification of the rheostat are always mentioned on the top of it. The maximum resistance which can be offered by it is a 400 ohms, which is mentioned on the top of it. Okay, number of turns and total resistance, these things are mentioned on the top of the rheostat. Now the second point, if you would like to use the rheostat as a potential divider, let me take, we have one battery of the 5 volts, and I want to characterize the diode IV characteristic. Okay, so I have to do the different potential to the diode, and same time I have to measure the current which is flowing in the circuit. But we have only 5 volts battery. Then what we have to do? We can take a one rheostat. So I am going to make a circuit, the rheostat as a potential divider. So first I have 5 volts battery. Now I will connect the rheostat A and B points through the source, voltage source. So the entire voltage will spread uniformly on the rheostat. So let me take the point A is connected over here, and this is the rheostat, and this is the point B. So the first step, to connect the rheostat both ends with the power source, okay, voltage source. So this is a positive terminal of the battery, and this is a negative terminal of the battery at the another end of the rheostat. Now there is a copper strip on the top of it. It is connected or in the contact with the coil, and let me take this contact is nothing but the Q. Alright, and the C and D portion, these are the C and D end of the copper rod. Now I have one diode, and as you know, the diode is the forward characteristic must have connected through the positive terminal of the battery. So this is one of the things you have to take care during the connection. So this is the positive end of the battery. You can connect the end A where you connected the voltage source through the rheostat. You can take another connecting wire. So you can see there is a connecting wire. So this is a copper wire basically. This is also called as the connecting wire in the lab, and this is winded through the thread. Okay, each and every time you have to clean it through the emery paper, so that the oxidation will happen on the wire. These are the pure copper wire. So oxidation, these become oxidized with the time. So first we have to clean it carefully, and then you can make the connection at this point. And from the point A where you connected battery, from there you can take another wire and connect the positive terminal of the diode. At the same time, because you want to measure the current, you have to put the ammeter in the circuit or milliammeter. So the ampere order will current flow. Okay, so or you can say simply the ammeter can be connected in the series. Alright, and another end of the diode should be connected through the point C or D, because the both points are same. So either you can take this end of the rheostat or this end of the rheostat which is connected with the copper rod. Okay, so now you have to use the copper rod over here. So the D point, let me take the D point because C and D are both same. So any point you can connect through the negative terminal of the diode. So you can see that the positive terminal is connected with the positive terminal of the diode, and the negative, this is a relatively negative basically. The whole potential is spread uniformly from point A to the point B through the power source or battery over here which you connected. So this is a positive and this is a negative. Alright, and this point Q which is in the contact with the nichrome wire of the copper rod is relatively in the negative potential with respect to the point A. So when you connect this point, so this is negative point. Now if you slide this contact on the rheostat, then If you go upward, this is towards the point A, if you slide towards point A, then the potential which is spread across this portion of the rheostat will appear on the diode. So first, when this Q point which is in the contact is near to the near to the A point, near to the A point, then the less amount of the potential will appear across the diode. Okay, so let me take a graph which is basically IV characteristic of the diode. The voltage you apply on the diode. So when it is at this portion, like the Q point is in the contact is towards the point A of the rheostat, then the less amount of the potential, let me take like 0.1 volts is appearing across the diode. Then corresponding the current is very less, that is even less than the milliampere order. Okay, so very less amount of the current will appear on that one. Okay, as you start to slide this slider towards the B direction, the more potential will appear on the diode. Then corresponding the current you can note it down through the milliammeter. Then with the time you can see that the current will start to flow, and after certain voltage the current start to increase. Mean to say, the main point of this today's class is how to connect the rheostat in the circuit as a variable resistance and as a variable potential divider. So when you want to connect the rheostat as a variable resistance, then you have to connect in the series. When you want to connect as a potential divider, then you have to connect in the parallel. Alright, first the whole potential will appear across the diode, or the whole potential of the battery will appear across the rheostat. Then from the rheostat you can take the required amount of the potential across the any voltage. Now if you want to measure at any time what is the potential you are sending towards the diode, then you can connect one voltmeter. Same time you can measure the value of the voltage which you are applying on the diode, and you can measure the value of the current which is flowing through the diode. That's how you can change the potential, and you can note down the value of the current, and then you can plot the IV characteristic of the diode. So this is the way we can connect the rheostat as a potential divider. And now we are going to demonstrate this rheostat as a variable resistance and variable potential divider. Thank you.